How you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Forgive my voice today. I'm, not feeling the best. Just got a little sore throat. So here we're looking at the Silver Surfer, number 4, 25 cents, Marvel Comics. So this is the Silver Surfer's first original series, and I just love this cover. I've seen this cover a million times. Silver Surfer zooming in on Thor. Look at that. There's Asgard in the distance. As you can see, I got this off the shelves a billion years ago as a kid. Didn't take the best care of it, so that's it's good enough for me. I don't want to spend the money to replace it. But here, look at that inside cover. The Silver Surfer, the good, the bad, and the uncanny. Tales of the Watcher. The Terror of Tim Ba. Look at that. That's a famous splash page. I've seen that splash page in a few books. The Good, the Bad, the Uncanny. By Stan Lee and John Buscema. Sal Buscema, inker, Artie Simek, letterer. Perhaps the greatest fantasy saga of all time. So, here we have the two Buscema brothers. I don't know what made me think of this comic the other day, but I was driving home from work and this comic just popped into my head. So, that's 9 times out of 10. That's how I get comics into the showcase. They just pop into my head. So obviously I want to, let's look at the indicia before I stop rambling. 1968. Wow. I didn't think it was that. Oh, this isn't, okay, copyright 1968, February 1969. All right, so this is also 25 cents. The regular comics were 12 cents. This is a double-sized, big, thick issue. So, Stan Lee writes it, and John Buscema was the artist, and Sal Buscema, his brother, was the inker. Both of them are competent artists, legendary, and both of them Marvel workhorses. I cannot think of any DC work that they did. I might be wrong, probably am, and they were just full on, Marvel house style guys. So look, I'm not even reading the words. I make a big deal in this channel. Please forgive my voice, guys. I'm really sorry, and I'm trying to make a video a day. I already skipped a video last week because I wasn't feeling good, and I'm just trying to do a video a day. So I can't do anything about my voice. So here, look, I make a big deal about storytelling, and storytelling, not the story itself. Storytelling is how the art conveys the story. And I use the example as if I was to pick up a book of manga in original Japanese. Could I follow the pictures and get the gist of the story? Because I don't speak and read Japanese. And I think John Buscema is a good storyteller. We could figure out what's going on. Loki's, without the aid of my brother, I would have think he would say, I'm going out to cause trouble. So he's using his sorceress mechanizations. And he's, looking for puppets to cause problems with. The Hulk, I use the Hulk. Here's the thing, fighting Namazuma. Hercules. Hercules. And here, the Silver Surfer. And still, if we all know, poor Norrin Rad is the Silver Surfer's secret identity. He's thrown himself against the barrier. Galactus imprisoned him for betraying him. Galactus imprisoned the Silver Surfer for betraying Galactus. I realize that I keep using these pronouns, and you probably don't know the subject and object of my sentence. So Galactus is punishing the Silver Surfer by making this invisible force field that only works against the Silver Surfer. And when he reaches a certain height above Earth's atmosphere, he slams against it. And Norrin just builds up speed and slams into it. Build up speed and slam. He doesn't just go up and tap it. He doesn't probe it for weakness. He freaking flies into it like a maniac. But Silver Surfer is like infinitely powerful. So, and it makes for good drama. And he's a masochist, and he's a drama queen. So there you go. And Loki's like, "Oh, check this guy out. What can he?" So he's looking at the Silver Surfer story, and a little deep lore on the Silver Surfer. So he's from the planet Zenla. And now you can probably hear the lawnmower guys. Jesus, I tell you. So he's from Zenla, and Zenla was super advanced world to the point where the people just lived in this like Siberic luxury. They didn't have to do anything. They had machines that provided for everything. If they wanted food, they hit a button. If they wanted entertainment, they hit a button. So people just walked around. Where Norrin, he was restless. He wanted to go and explore. And the average Zenlavian didn't want to go out and explore. They didn't want to exert themselves. They had everything they needed. They lived in paradise. Why go elsewhere? That's the way I feel about my basement. My basement's beautiful. My basement's wonderful. Why go anywhere else? So, I should name my basement Zenla. And Norrin is restless. He wants to go out. He wants to conquer the universe. Not conquer the universe, but he wants to explore the universe. He wants to check things out. And Galactus came to destroy Zenla. Not that Galactus is evil. That depends on your point of view. But Galactus needs to eat, and the only thing that sustained Galactus's super infinite power is the living energy of whole worlds. That's how he eats. We eat cows. Galactus eats planets. We're probably evil in the eyes of cows, and Galactus is evil in the eyes of planets and people and populations. Which Galactus, I don't think, sees himself as evil. So he convinces Galactus, I will go and I will search out planets for you if you spare Zenla. So Galactus was intrigued, turned him into the Silver Surfer, and he goes off. So both of their needs are satisfied. He gets to explore and have his wandering, restless spirit satisfied. Galactus has a more efficient way of searching for planets. But he left Shalabel, the woman that he loved. So she's heartbroken, he's heartbroken, but she gets to live. So that's Silver Surfer. But then when he came to Earth, he betrayed Galactus and fought against Galactus because Earth reminded him of Zenla. So his Galactus with the famous bolts prisoning Silver Surfer on Earth. So he cannot roam. So here's Mephisto. Mephisto hates the Silver Surfer because Silver Surfer is good. He's noble and self-sacrificing. I always joked around and said that the Silver Surfer is the continuing adventures of Galactic Jesus. He sacrificed himself to save his planet, and gets tempted by the devil. The similarities are self-apparent, and I think Jack Kirby did that on purpose. And so here, his Mephisto and Loki are like scheming together. Look at this, look at that, and here they are. The Warriors 3. I've always loved the Warriors 3. So that's Falstaff. That's based on that's Falstaff. Volstagg is based on Falstaff, the Shakespearean character. This is Fandral, who's based on Henry V, and I don't know who Hogan's based on. But these are like three. He's played for jokes, and then they're whatever, but they're buddies that always adventure together, and they're friends with Thor. You saw him in the first Thor movie. I just love these characters. I thought they were just unceremoniously discarded in the last Thor movie for such important characters, or characters that I love, really. And here they are dealing with Loki. Notice the lack of backgrounds, and he's making proclamations and whatever. And here they're going to get Thor. Your brother's up to nonsense again. And there's Sif. Remember, in the comics, Sif is Thor's girlfriend. In Norse mythology, Sif is Thor's wife. So look at that. I just love it. No backgrounds again. Just simple colors, primary colors. Yeah. He's all pleased with his machinations and be silent fools and what's going on here. First I go to find the Silver Surfer. So he's been what we used to call that, like back when I was a kid, back in the 70s, there was a guy who was like the signifier, and he would start all the fights. I don't know if anybody knows Dolomite, but that was like one of his skits, the signifying monkey, about the monkey who would go and start the fights between the lions and the gorillas and stuff like that. So that became kind of like there's always one little nerdy, shrimpy guy in every group when you're children who just gets off on watching the big guys fight. And that's what Loki's doing right now. An amazing invention, magic art reproducer. Draw any person in 1 minute. What's funny about this is I always wanted this as a kid. And I wanted to hold up and do comic book panels and trace them and then like paint them and hang them up. And now that I have a garage, I think I might do something like that. See, here we have Nor. Look at that. Nornrod, friend to animals. He's just hanging out with the lions and the hippos and the alligators and the elephants. All the animals are drawn to his good, I don't want to be cynical and say like he's using his power cosmic, which is basically plot power. You could do whatever you want with. Is he influencing these animals, or is it just his good humanity that's drawing the animals to him? You be the judge. You know, he's saying you're not a beast. They call you a beast, but you have no violence in your heart. You know, basically he's just like Galactus. He eats when he has to eat, and when he, you know, I'm sorry about that prey, but I got to eat. So, you know, here he is being a drama queen, a stranger to peace, a prisoner caught in the web of his own nameless fears. Nobody has existential angst like the Silver Surfer. That's another one of his powers. I love this little panel. Here he is crying. You know, I'm trapped in this world of madness and beauty, and you know, he spent a lot of his time out in like the places where humans don't go, like up on mountains. I have found thee. Who calls? Look at that. Look. And here, what is the power of a god? So he's fighting Silver Surfer, and Silver Surfer's like, what's going on? Why are you doing this to me? And he zaps him, knocks him out. Oh, look, I love that perspective. He falls, and he's just being cruel to Sylvia. I was about to say to Sylvia. He's being really cruel to Sylvia. He's being really cruel to Norrin. And here he is in the water. Hercules armband. What is this? The Johnson and Smith Company. I just love all this gag stuff. You don't see this. This is definitely stuff of a bygone age. Wouldn't that be cool? Oh man, I just had an idea. I play a role-playing game called Villains Vigilantes as a superhero, but to have a character based, he buys all of this stuff. Like the Hercules wristband gives him strength. You know, the blackout bombs, you really make people blind. You know, stuff like that. That would be really, really funny. But I wonder if anybody would even get it. So now Loki's just causing trouble, mashing buildings, knocking people down, and Silver Surfer's like, you got to listen to me. You do what I want, or I'll torture people. And you know, Silver Surfer could fight back. I think in a fight, Silver Surfer would beat Loki, but Loki would have to get really cruel and nasty, and I don't think Norrin would expect that, nor be ready for that. So I think in raw power, Silver Surfer would win. But Loki would just be cruel and nasty and steal a victory. So there's Eddie Murphy over there, you know, Buddy Hackett. Look at that face. And here, look at this battle. That's just so cool, you know. Now here's a little controversy that I've seen people come up. Does Silver Surfer wear underwear? Or is he just all of his skin silver? Like, basically, does he have a full anatomy or does he not have a full anatomy? But who knows? I love this panel. Look at that. This guy's in agony right here, and he's still fighting. And Loki's just like, oh, I might have taken off more than I could chew. You passed the test. So now Loki's changing gears. Here, you got to help me. You know, whatever. You know, you're powerful enough to help me. Loki like, I mean, you know. Motor mouth over here. He's just using his charisma. And here he goes. What do you dare? Thor's gonna take over the Imperial throne, take out the All-Father, and cause chaos. So look here, he's showing him visions of Thor. So he's lying to him. God of mischief and lies. Irving, your piano teacher is here. That's my piano teacher. Chopped her up and put her in a box. Yeah, that was some. That was pretty dark. I don't know where that humor came from. So now he's thinking about Shalabale as Asgard, and now he's getting to Asgard, and of course Loki leaves, and there's Heimdall, who looks so much like Idris Elba. Look at that. That's Idris Elba if ever I've seen him. Look at that face. So Heimdall's talking about him, and surely the god of no. Yeah. So you came here without a weapon, nothing, and you're getting challenged, Thor? Yeah, I could let you in. You know, you pose no threat. See, here's Loki, just on his throne. And they always, like I said, there's always this toady guy. That's such an early Marvel trope. You know, I said it was a Jack Kirby thing, but Stan Lee did it too. Everybody did it. It's just such a comic book trope to have the little toady yes man. Torches. And here. Okay. So we're 23 pages in, and I just wanted to talk about this comic in general, the behind the scenes. So, legend has it, I cannot confirm nor deny, but I've heard it from a few people, that John Buscema has always been a competent, great comic book artist, but he never really, he's not up there in the pantheon of the legends. So, he's always been unfairly considered like a lesser Jack Kirby. And I think it was starting to bother him. And he was always like hired to help out somebody else, or jump in when somebody's going behind on the deadline, stuff like that. So this is the very first comic, I'm pretty sure, and please forgive my voice, I feel terrible. I feel terrible that you got to listen to this. Not that I feel terrible, I actually don't feel bad. But John Buscema was hired from issue number 1, and this is a double-sized comic. And, this is Stan Lee's favorite character, supposedly, next to Spider-Man. So this was like a premier prestige position. So he took it with great stride, and he wanted it to be his comic. Like this people are going to talk about, the John Buscema run on Silver Surfer. That is the stuff of legends. So he poured his heart and soul into this, and he really, I think, just gave it some gusto. That unmeasurable resource that goes into work. And supposedly he showed this page to Stan Lee, and he, back then you could still mail your artwork, but he went to the offices and here you go, Stan, put this right into Stan's hand. And he wasn't unrealistic. He didn't expect a raise. He didn't expect like to be swept up in a spotlight and congratulated, but he expected like, wow, that attaboy, just an attaboy. We all want an attaboy. And Stan looked at it and said, this doesn't look like Kirby. And supposedly that was it. A switch went off, and he stopped giving a shit. So it's not that he, after this comic, it's not that he stopped doing good work. He always did good work. He, this is just such fine comic book art. This is American comic books in a nutshell. This is really good stuff. It's to me like this. If not for Jack Kirby, we would be talking about this. Look at that. That is wonderful. But he didn't pour his heart and soul in the work. It just became a job after this. And I wonder if Stan ever said sorry or made it up to him, or is the story even true? I never met Stan. I never met John Buscema. I never met Sal Buscema. So I don't know. But I was thinking about that the other day. You're thinking you're doing a really good job. You just want somebody to recognize the effort that you put in. And this doesn't look like Kirby. Oh man, that must have been just. And he's a grown man, probably had children, a house at the time. You know what I mean? So, you just go, oh okay, and you turn back in, and you just go home, and you're like, you got one eye on the ball game while you're drawing. That's what you do. Spoom. So here they are fighting. Silver Surfer's just going nuts. He's taking out all of Asgard. Silver Surfer's a tough guy. One-on-one. On Monday the Thor would win. On Tuesday Silver Surfer would win. I can't make that call. Both of them have vaguely undefined powers. Thor's a little bit more defined than the Silver Surfer, but who would win? That depends. But just a good old fight. Look at that. There's Odin. There's Odin. I've always loved Odin. When I was a little kid, before I even bought comics, my brother he walked me down to a 7-Eleven. So he's about, 5-6 years older than me. And we went to the 7-Eleven, and they had Big Gulps. A Big Gulp is a big soda, big American-sized thing of soda, but it was a Slurpee. So it was like crushed ice and soda. So it was a big, like, icy soda. And they had Marvel cups. And I don't know why, but I picked the Odin cup, and that's what I wanted. And it was just this, I definitely think it was a John Buscema drawing of Odin, just with this spear and everything like that. And I had that cup for years. I got to go and see if I can find that cup on eBay. But I've always loved Odin ever since then. And here we go. Look at that. I just got distracted by, I love this panel. Look at that. That is so cool. And just look at, just competent, just great. You know, as much as I love Kirby, that doesn't mean flashlight. That's an odd ad. And what is this? Spanish fly? What's that? You spray that and girls get excited like the Beastie Boys. What is that? No Sleep Till Brooklyn. I forget what video that is. So he's blasting the hammer, cosmic energy, Kirby crackle. I mean, Buscema is doing a little Kirby. I think you have to in these early days of Marvel, but you know, give the guy an attaboy. This is excellent. Look at the face. I like the coloring over here. They mail you a monkey. Jeez, how the hell do they mail you a pet monkey? Anybody ever do this? Does your monkey ever show up alive or dead? Look at this panel. That is just so cool. Look, he's just stepping out of the darkness over here. Thor's on the ropes. Here comes Balder looking chubby, and his Sif. There's Balder the Brave in his white cape. You know, and Thor's, I bloated alone shall serve his lips. Balder, no, let him be heard. So like Loki's like, no, he can't talk. No, don't listen to him. Stab him, Balder, stab him. Don't talk. So now they're starting to find out that maybe things aren't as they say. Now here he puts Mjolnir in like this energy force field, and he's just was I duped? Yeah. Oh, I said the word dupe before I even read this. You must have suspected from the beginning that I was merely duped. Such as one must never be my enemy. So now that he's figuring out everything, these are plastic pillows. This got to be just like you sweat a little bit and they stick to your face. And I love these shirts. Look, Asgard is kind of, I don't know. It's like the weirdest. It's like southwestern landscape in the north. I don't know. It's just. Well, it's magical, so I guess there you could have these inconsistencies. Look at Loki. Loki's still strong, and he blasted Silver Surfer. Thor's just like, what's going on? And here he is once more. I am on Earth alone, trapped behind the barrier. Loki promised that he would materialize him on the other side of the barrier and free him, and that's one of the incentives that he had to fight Thor. And of course, Loki didn't keep his words. And here is a reprint of Tales of the Watcher. And who is this? Stan Lee writer, Howard Purcell illustrator, Paul Renman and lettering Herb. I have no idea who these people are. They must have been trying out because look at the panels are big and there's not too many panels on each page. This is definitely not. This is, hate to say it, but this is like a Charlton quality or another lesser company. This isn't Marvel quality. So this was just a fill-in. I never heard these names before. If anybody has seen these names, just let me know. I'm not even interested in them. I read the story obviously, but I don't know. And here, okay, Not Brand X. This was like their humor magazine, like Not Brand X. So this was mostly like Marvel making fun of itself. So, they would, and DC, they would make fun of other comic books. So it was kind of like being glad. Marvel tried a lot of things. Look at Daredevil. That's Irving Forbush, a little forgotten part of Marvel history. They tried to make him like that Marvel's Alfred E. Newman. He's got bad breath. And here's the letters page. Who speaks for the surfer? So let's just take a look at the. I like to just see if I recognize any names. Nope. Oh, Brian Carlson. Nope, I don't recognize any of the names. Tired of being skinny? Gain up to a pound a day. Proven by I mastered that. I go to White Castle and I can master a pound a day. And we're looking for people who like to draw. So that's Silver Surfer number 4. I just wanted to talk about that sad story with John Buscema. Just the poor guy poured his heart and soul into the comic, and then Stan Lee just was like, that doesn't look like Jack Kirby, and that was it. That's sometimes all. So if anybody here is a boss, if anybody has an employees, just give them an attaboy. That's all. That's all most people want. In my job, we always say we don't ask for much. We just ask for the tools to do our job, the time to do our job, and once in a while an attaboy. That's really it. A bathroom. I do construction outside, so that's all we want. That's all we ask for. We don't ask for millions of dollars, although that would be nice. We don't want hugs. We don't want candy. Just give us the tools we need. Give us the time we need. A bathroom, and once in a while, just hey, attaboy. That's it, and that's all. That's all John Buscema wanted. All right. Thank you for putting up with my horrible voice. If I don't do a video tomorrow, this is why, because of my voice. I should really record a bunch on one day. Yeah, that's the smart thing that I'll start doing once my voice gets better. But thank you very much. I appreciate your time. And I had some encouraging news from a new subscriber who said that this was promoted on his homepage. So that's kind of cool. To be promoted on somebody's homepage. I guess YouTube's starting to notice me. So thank you everyone. Thank you everyone is what I meant to say. And I appreciate that you took the time to listen to my hoarse, disgusting, horrible, annoying voice today. And look at, you see this comic? This is how my voice feels, as beat up as this. But thank you very much, and I appreciate it. Thank you.